And let's see if we can't finish this, the ninth chapter of Mary Poppins Comes Back, Nellie-Rubina. They watched Nellie-Rubina, her uncle, and Mary Poppins decorate the park all night, and what they were decorating it with was spring, which Mr. Banks noticed as he was shaving. He has called his kids downstairs, and we'll pick up from there. They came tumbling down the stairs and out of the front door to find the whole lane alive with people. "Ship ahoy!" roared Admiral Boom, waving his muffler. "Rope and rigging, cockles and shrimps, here's the spring!" "Well," said Miss Lark, hurrying out through her gate, "a fine day at last! I was thinking of getting Andrew and Willoughby 2 pairs of leather boots each, but now the snow's gone I shan't have to." At that, Andrew and Willoughby looked very relieved and licked her hand to show they were glad she had not disgraced them. The ice cream man wheeled slowly up and down, keeping an eye open for customers, and today his notice board read, "Spring has come, rum-ti-tum. Stop and buy one, spring has come." And the sweep, carrying only one brush, walked along the lane, looking from right to left with a satisfied air, as though he himself had arranged the lovely day. And in the middle of all the excitement, Jane and Michael stood still, staring about them. Everything shone and glistened in the sunlight. There was not a single flake of snow to be seen. From every branch of every tree the tender, pale green buds were bursting. Round the edge of the flower bed, just inside the park, fragile green shoots of aconites, snowdrops, and skylas were breaking into a border of yellow, white, and blue. Presently the park keeper came along and picked a tiny bunch and put them carefully in his buttonhole. From flower to flower, brightly colored butterflies were darting on downy wings, and in the branches thrushes and tits and swallows and finches were singing and building nests. A flock of sheep with soft young lambs at their heels went by, baaing loudly. And from the bough of the ash tree by the park gates came the clear, double-noted call, "Cuckoo! Cuckoo!" Michael turned to Jane. His eyes were shining. "So that's what they were doing, Nellie-Rubina and Uncle Dodger and Mary Poppins." Jane nodded, gazing wonderingly about her. Among the faint green smoke of buds, a gray body rocked backward and forwards on the ash bough. "Cuckoo! Cuckoo!" "But I thought they were all made of painted wood," said Michael. "Did they come alive at night, do you think?" "Perhaps," said Jane. "Cuckoo! Cuckoo!" Jane seized Michael's hand, and as though he guessed the thought in her mind, he ran with her through the garden, across the lane and into the park. "Hi, where are you going, you two?" called Mr. Banks. "Ahoy there, messmates!" roared Admiral Boom. Excuse me. "You'll get lost," warned Miss Lark shrilly. The ice cream man tingled his bell wildly, and the sweep stood staring after them. But Jane and Michael took no notice. They ran on, right through the park, under the trees, to the place where they had first seen the ark. They drew up panting. It was cold and shadowy here under the dark branches, and the snow had not yet melted. They peered about, seeking, but there was only a heavy drift of snowflakes spread under the dark green boughs. "It's really gone, then," said Michael, gazing around. "Do you think we only imagined it, Jane?" he asked doubtfully. She bent down suddenly and picked up something from the snow. "No," she said slowly, "I'm sure we didn't." She held out her hand. In her palm lay a round pink conversation suite. She read out the words, "Goodbye till next year, Nellie-Rubina Noah." Michael drew a deep breath. "So that's who she was. Uncle Dodger said she was the eldest daughter, but I never guessed." "She brought the spring," said Jane dreamily, gazing at the conversation. "I'll thank you," said a voice behind them. "To come home at once and eat your breakfast," said Mary Poppins. They turned guiltily. "We were just—" Michael began to explain. "Then don't," snapped Mary Poppins. She leant over Jane's shoulder and took the conversation. "That, I believe, is mine," she remarked, putting it in her apron pocket. She led the way home through the park. Michael broke off a spray of green buds as he went. He examined them carefully. "They seem quite real now," he said. "Perhaps they always were," said Jane, and a mocking voice came fluting from the ash tree. "Cuckoo! Cuckoo! Cuckoo!" And that is the end of Chapter 9.